Hello everyone, Poot the Bard, and we are back again today. Yet another gear review. I know people who are familiar with my channel are probably like, aren't you a gaming channel? Games and gear. Game gear. That's what I should, you know what, I should rename the channel to Game Gear. Not going to do it, but it would be a good idea. But it's, you know, video games and guitar. What's better? Nothing. There is nothing better. And today we are checking out something that is a collaboration between Joey Sturgis Tone, or JST Tone, and their TONEFORGE series, and one of my personal favorite guitar players, Mr. Jeff Loomis. So, Joey Sturgis Tone, I've heard a lot about. I've never really tried any of their stuff, but the TONEFORGE stuff is highly regarded as some of the best plugins and very affordable in the grand scheme of things, and great tone. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm very fortunate over the years. Again, I was able to get into various plugins and different tools and different amp modelers and everything. I absolutely love Helix Native. Helix Native is great. I've tried some of the ML Sound Lab stuff, which I'm going to demo some of those as well. They're absolutely great too. But I was like, you know what? I saw this Jeff Loomis thing and I went, gotta have it. Absolutely gotta have it. Jeff Loomis is so good. His work with Nevermore, of course, is incredible. And if you've never listened to Nevermore, do yourself a favor and go get the album Dead Heart in a Dead World, or in my opinion, Dreaming Neon Black. Those are both fantastic albums. After he left Nevermore, well, Nevermore broke up, Jeff Loomis was a little bit in the ether, and he started working with Keith Merrow, and they came up with a group called Conquering Dystopia. Their album was fantastic. And then Jeff Loomis, of course, got brought in to play for the legendary metal band Arch Enemy alongside Michael Amott. Like, he's a perfect fit for that band. And he's been doing that ever since. And, you know, he has his signature with Jackson. The Kelly is beautiful. And word is, and rumor is, that we're going to be getting a 7-string version, either a soloist or a Kelly. So I'm very excited for that as well. And of course, he started working with Joey Sturgis Tone, and here we are. So we're going to be checking out the Joey Sturgis TONEFORGE Jeff Loomis plugin. I am amped, pardon the pun. And of course, for this one, you've seen I've used my Charvel and my Balaguer. Love those guitars. However, it wouldn't be a Jeff Loomis review without a 7-string. This is my Ibanez 1527, okay? 1527 Prestige RG. Just kind of showing it off. And the pickups in it, you can see, ooh, super shiny. They are a pair of DiMarzio pickups out of an Angel Vivaldi signature. This is a Tone Zone 7, and this is an Air Norton 7. So that's what I'm going to be using. It's a 3-way switch. And during the review, and you'll see when, my volume knob just decided to lock up. So that's a little disconcerting. So there might be a little bit of extra noise than normal, but we have to do the 7-string thing. It's Jeff Loomis. Now, I'm no Jeff Loomis, so don't expect Jeff Loomis type of playing, because I got these stubby, meaty man hands, and he has those lanky guitar playing god hands. Anyway, time for the review. Let's get over to Reaper. All right, so we're back over in Reaper, and this is the actual UI of the Jeff Loomis TONEFORGE JST plugin here, and it's super user-friendly. It's super good. And we're going to be going through a couple of the presets, and we're going to try and make our own tone and play around with some of the tools that we have at our disposal. For this one, like I said before, I'm using my Ibanez 1527 Prestige here, and it has a set of DiMarzio pickups in it. This is a Tone Zone 7 and an Air Norton 7, and we're going to see how those sound with this. Understandably, built around the idea of Jeff Loomis using an active pickup set, the EMGs in his earlier days, and now the Seymour Duncan Blackout set that he has. But these obviously are a little different. I personally prefer a passive pickup for 7. Maybe down the road I'll give some stuff a call, or give some stuff a try, but we'll see. We'll see what we can make happen. It'd be cool to do pickup demos down the road. Anyway, let's get going and check out the UI here before we get into some of the tones. First of all, you have your standard menu. You can load presets, your live sets, which we'll talk about a little bit, and deal with your MIDI stuff. Then you can also change the size of the UI, and you can fill the screen or have it be even smaller. If you're running a bunch of other plugins and you want to just save screen space and be a little more organized, then over here you have your presets that you can cycle through. And we're going to go through some of them, and we'll let you know how some of those sound, because they really, really playing around with it sound awesome. Then over here, you can create a whole new preset and start from scratch. Up here, you have your live mode, which is useful for if you decide to use your computer direct during performances or clinics or anything that you're doing. You can set up for a foot switch to switch through scenes and presets that you want to specifically use. So they are really thinking ahead here for the studio musician and for the live musician here with this. There's your MIDI mapping. You can have stereo or mono input up here in the corner. They include a tuner in this, which is super great because like it does the trick, and you could tell I'm a little out of tune, but the guitar's in tune with itself. I do need to do a little setup with it, but it'll be just fine. You'll survive. But yeah, having a tuner included, you have your output volume and meter over here. You have your input volume and meter over here. You have an independent gate that is just one knob, and it's very, very natural. It doesn't impact your tone significantly. It doesn't clamp off too quick unless you get it up to really high settings. You have very wide breadth on that. It's very, very good. Let's go back to your amp settings. So here, we'll start actually at the beginning of your chain. And for people who are not really into plugins or may not be familiar with plugins in general, this is basically just an amp setup. Like you treat it like you would your normal live, you know, analog IRL half stack and pedals and stuff. It's very, very easy to use. So starting here, you obviously have your overdrive and a compressor based off of a 808 and what would be a Dynacomp, I believe, respectively. Very simple knobs, simple layout, very familiar and very, very usable. Then you go on over to your amp settings. We have your clean here, which I'm not really sure what they're trying to cop here, but it's a really nice clean channel. Then you have your rhythm, which has that kind of recto look, which I would imagine would be taken from his 2-channel recto that he used during the Nevermore days. And then, of course, more modern, you have an EVH 5153 kind of look here going. So we're kind of going for that 5150-ish kind of sound. Rest in peace, Eddie. I'm sure we you know, a lot of people out there are still missing him, and I know I do. And his legacy is living on even in artists' other kind of things, which is really, really cool. Then we have our cab section, which you have a myriad of cabs, which we'll go through. The matched cab for this specific plugin. Then we have your JST classic cab, but you have your choice of microphones. Bogren Digital did 4 different ones here with this plugin, which is awesome. And they sound very, very good as well. And then you can load your own impulse responses as well. So we're going to leave that on the JST matching cab. You can also do dual cabinets here. So that's pretty great. That's pretty great. You have a lot of tonal options that way. Then we have our effects loop section where you have your time-based effects like your reverb and delay. Obviously, we have a reverb and delay here. The Skybox, tons of options, and all the reverbs sound really, really nice. I personally like the Coral, Shimmer, and Blood settings the best. The plate reverb is super nice, though. And hopefully I have a little bit of time to cover that. Then you have the Echo Man over here, which is a really nice delay. And yes, it does do the self-oscillating thing, which I was thrilled with. You have an equalizer section where you can really dial in your tone and take out some maybe obnoxious peaky frequencies. And you have a lot of different frequencies in each range to choose from with a plus or minus 12 dB boost. And then over here, you have your dynamics, which can help you kind of control and limit, again, lower frequencies into the into maybe the super low mids and kind of control them and tighten up your sound here. So just tons of stuff going on. And we're going to get into the demos right now. All right, so when you first boot up the this massive plugin, it takes you to a default setting, and this is what you are greeted with. You're greeted with just kind of a flat, dry, ready to go tone. Now on the palm mutes, it's kind of hitting hard. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to bring this down to about -6 just to see where we're at. And I mean, it's there. It's there. But again, it's everything at noon, very flat, kind of dark. And it just is a good platform to get you going to where you want to go. So let's start hitting the presets right now. So we're going to go from default to the next one. So you're going to see that I took the user interface down to the smaller size, just so it was easier for me to work within the context of Reaper. You should still be able to see everything. I mean, it's not like everything's packed in real tight. It's still very clear. And again, this user interface is just absolutely wonderful. So the first preset that we have here is called High Noon. And from before, I remember it being very quiet. So we're going to go ahead and bring this output up to -1 and see where we're at. I'm gonna work that into every single review. This little chord, this, just because I like it so much. But this is kind of cool because it's like it shows that this really reacts like an amp. It feels really good because it's a clean, but that gain is cranked all like really, really high. So you get those dynamics of. It has a really nice feel. Let's go over to the neck pickup and see. Oh, I really, really like that. That's a fun, clean sound to play around with because it's very tactile and very kind of squishy. Let's take a look and see what was going on with the signal path here. So they were on Bogren Model 3, which the Bogren cabs really are, really bring out a lot of highs and upper mids, which for that clean and that kind of sound they were going for, I get it. It's really cool. You can see the overdrive is on and kind of pushing the front end even harder. And the compressor's on there too to keep you from going a little out of control. We also had the blood setting on that skybox, which just is amazing. That I don't know why they call it blood, but it's really, really good. On to the next preset. All right, so now we're over to Kind of Magical, and you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but there is a substantial amount of hiss here. Now, this is a lead patch, so we might not want the gate on, but that gate just clamps that right off and makes it go away. We're going to bring it back to the way it was just so you can get a feel for what's going on. But again, now we're over onto the lead, so let's hear how this sounds. Jump through all the keys. It's okay. I'm just trying to give you a good tone of what this can do. Well, my volume knob. No, it's stuck. What's going on? No, what's happening? Well, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to put that gate on because my volume knob decided to, decided to lock up on me, and I don't know what's happening with it. So we're just gonna have to use the gate to kind of silence the recordings or just disarm the track. But that's a really nice lead sound. It feels really, really good. So I'm excited to see what we can keep doing here. Let's keep going. All right, now we're on to Jeff Loomis's kind of signature clean that he really likes. Again, just a really nice, spacey, clear, very clear. You can see over on the clean amp, there's that knob labeled clarity, which just kind of brings out the highs from playing around with it. And especially when you're using so much low end, just that clarity. And also the reverb that's on it. I believe this is the blood setting. Let's take a look. The blood, yes, the blood's on there. So what are we hitting it to? No compression, no overdrive, of course, because we want it to be as clean as possible. I think the compressor could be good, but let's see how this sounds here. Just rings so nicely. And I'm on the neck pickup right now. Really, really like that. A very, like... You get those really big piano-y kind of lows. Really, really like that. Let's see what other presets there are. We'll see, maybe we can find a Loomis kind of traditional rhythm sound. All right, so you can hear we're into the serious territory now. This is Loomis's kind of main rhythm sound that he set up for this using the 5153. And let's see what the signal chain here is. Of course, an overdrive in the front, adding a little bit of overdrive, which is kind of cool because the gain's at noon, and on those 5153s, that's a lot of gain. We're using the matched cab, no reverb or delay, a little bit of bass cut or bass boost at 200. Wow, he likes his low end. The mids are cut around 800. The treble is being affected at 7K. Nothing really there to note. And then, of course, here's how he has the crossover kind of set. So let's see how this sounds. Might as well pull the trigger. We're just going to do a little Nevermore riff. At least try and cop one. Oh, really, really like that. That feels really good. Except I feel like for stuff like that, it's good because the clarity's there. But for the... to hear all those notes, but I feel like anything fast, it might lose it. And that could be the pickups I'm using. That could be I'm not Jeff Loomis. But if you're doing like the intro riff to Ambivalent, oh, wow. Okay, so putting the gate up just so I can quiet you. I can't turn the volume down on you. But kind of, it sounds really beefy. That's more low end than I would like. But then again, maybe it's because I just am not good at controlling it. But it sounds really good. And I'm amazed at the clarity. Being able to hear those, that tritone for that riff in there. It sounds incredibly good. Let's keep going. See if we can find some other presets that maybe aren't Loomis centric. So let's see what other presets there are. All right, so I found one while I was scrolling through called Thrash Edge, and I really like this because it is taking it back to that kind of classic thrash sound, and in my opinion, it adds a little bit of clarity on the low end, and I'm sorry that you have all this noise going on, but again, volume knob just being a volume knob. We got the overdrive on. Here is our settings. We're on 6L6 tubes. That's something else I didn't mention. You can change from 6L6 to EL34 power tubes. Very subtle changes, but absolutely a cool option they put in. Bogren Digital Model 2 to bring out some of those highs. No verb or delay. Here is the equalizer and how it's set. A little bit of a low boost here at 700. And a little bit of a high boost at 5K. The mids being boosted as well. And let's see what's going on with dynamics. Crossover turned up. The intensity still at 0. Output is at 0 as well. So plenty of different ways to control your volume and your dynamics in this. Let's take a listen to see how Thrash Edge sounds. Really good. Really, oh, I like that a lot. That feels good. That feels good. That's the other thing about this plugin is everything feels so good. Like it really feels dynamic and squishy and just everything that you would want out of a high gain tone if you're into this kind of stuff. Let's keep going. And you know what I think? I'm going to find a lead patch and see what we can muster up from that. All right, I found this one called Squirt Lead. I don't know how I feel about that name, but we're going to see what's going on. So we're using the 5150. The shred is kind of at 11 o'clock, which is kind of interesting for a lead. I guess you want it to be a little smooth. Of course, front-ending it with the overdrive compressor turned off. Bogren Model 4. Again, the Bogrens. Oh, this one's a dual. Bogren and the JST matched. And then we have our plate reverb, which again sounds really, really nice. A little bit of a delay on there as well. Let's go in and see. We're at an eighth note delay here. There's your settings. And everything kind of subtle. There's our EQ, a little bit of mid boost, which is understandable. Highs kind of pushed a little bit. Bass pulled back. Very cool. And then here is our dynamic frequency crossover there. So let's go back. Let's take a listen to this and see how it sounds. The thing that I really like is that the thing I like is that the delay and the reverb don't really get in the way too much. And you can hear my pickups might be microphonic. Anyway, so let's see how it sounds on neck pickup. See, like I said, everything feels so natural. There's a little bit of sweeps, kind of chuggy sweeps. Oh, it doesn't lie to you. That's the other thing that I really, really like about this is that it absolutely will not lie to you about your playing. Some plugins I've found in some amps, pedals, things like that will absolutely lie to you about what's going on, and you know you're playing, it'll hide stuff, but this has just enough gain and to give it a good feel, but not let you hide behind it. I like that. Let's see if we can make our own tone and go from there. Let's do that. All right, so I took us back to default, and I'm going to see what we can do here to get a good tone. I already know the cabinet that I want to use, and I'm only going to use one. I personally really like, for what I do, like I kept singing the praises of the Bogren Digital stuff, but I'm going to go with the JST Classic cab, and I'm going to go with the condenser. I just feel like that's kind of the way to go. So here's the matched cab. The matched cab is, well, the matched cab is a little too dark for me. So I'm going to go with the JST Classic with a condenser. To just up front make it a little crispier. And then we're going to go back here. We're, of course, going to front end it with a drive. And I'm not actually going to add any more drive to it. I'm going to have the balance up. I'm going to add just a hair bit of tone, just a little bit more tone, but the drive I'm going to keep low. Now we're going to go over here to the amp. I think we will use the Mesa. And I like 6L6s for this kind of stuff. I know I'm a shill. I'm going to bring the presence up to about 2 o'clock. Bass back just a little bit, mids up just past noon, and I'm going to bring the treble up as well, and goose the gain just a little bit. The low end is still a little tubby, so I am going to actually go in here. I'm going to go to 50 and cut it, see if that will work a little bit. Simple, easy enough, good way to get rid of it. The crossover, I think I'm actually going to leave it there. That was easy enough to do. Jeez, okay. Simple and easy enough. I thought it would take a little bit longer than that to dial in, honestly. Okay, so I like a plate reverb to just kind of fatten out a rhythm sound. And then if you decide to use play on your and to play leads on your rhythm patch, which, you know, like lead passages and stuff, it's just there to kind of give a little bit of dimension as well. I brought the mix down. I have the decay down as well a little bit because we're just trying to color the tone. Also, in the master section, I brought it up to -1 because it was a little bit quiet. So now this is with that plate verb on there. So like I said, it just adds a little bit of space. I don't know. I like it. Oh. Oh, well, no, I can't remember it. I don't know. It just fattens everything up, in my opinion. I like that. That's a good freaking tone. That's a good tone, at least for me and for what I like. I think if I was doing a lead patch, I would add some delay and a little more reverb in there just to give it more feel. Maybe a little more, a little bump to the mids over in the over in this equalizer section, but I like that for an overall rhythm tone. That's, for me, that suits me just fine. Let me know what you thought of the JST plugin. Let me know what you thought of the review. Things that you think I could do better. I'm always open to constructive criticism. I want these reviews to be as sound as possible because there's a lot of them out there. And a lot of people are I mean, the Joey Sturgis stuff, especially this one, is super hot right now. It just came out. So let me know what I could do better. Let me know what you thought. And to be perfectly honest with you, I love this. I absolutely love this. The presets are super good. They feel really good. And it was money well spent. Right now, I think they have an introductory price on this. So if you want to get it for a discounted deal, go and pick it up. It is worth the price of admission. If you've been looking at a bunch of different plugins that aren't free ones, take a look at this. If you're into metal, if you want a good clean sound, if you live in that world, check this plugin out. It is worth the price of admission. You do have to get an iLock account, but I think a lot of people do it. I'm kind of, I think, out of the norm and didn't have one. So, and that was painless as well. They just made this so easy, and I'm excited to try out more of the Joey Sturgis stuff. This is my first experience with it. I love the user interface. I love that, like, the grill of the amp lights up when you play. That's just a nice little cosmetic touch. They're very easy to navigate, very easy to use, and very easy to get a good tone out of. Like, and the presets are even great. Because how many times have you gotten, you know, a pedal, a modeler, a plugin, and the presets are just garbage? The presets on this, I could not find a bad one. I found ones that weren't really my thing, but they weren't bad for what they were. They were all very usable and very, very good. So I'll have links in the description to Joey Sturgis Tone where you can pick this up. I'll also have links in the description to my audio interface, which I used a Focusrite 18i20. So you can check one of those out if you're looking for a new audio interface. They are also worth the price of admission. And yeah, I'll have a link to my Facebook account as well, Poot the Bard. And, you know, you're going to go on there and you're going to see a lot of gaming stuff. And I do gaming and gear reviews. The two things I absolutely love. My two hobbies that I absolutely have so much fun for. I'm doing a playthrough of Hollow Knight right now. I need to edit the 3rd episode of that and put that together as well. So I got to get on that. But I got to take care of this one first because I am so excited about this one. Because I love Jeff Loomis and his playing and his tone, and this covers all of it. I mean, a really good clean sound, and then the rhythm for the Nevermore kind of stuff, you know, that era when he was using rectifiers and everything, and then moving forward into more modern day Conquering Dystopia, and of course his work with Arch Enemy, using more 5150-ish kind of tones with that lead. It's just amazing. Thank you guys for checking this out. Give me a subscribe if you can. Tell your friends about my channel, and thank you for your time. We'll have more gear reviews in the future. As a matter of fact, what's this little oddball guy? What's inside of here? Who knows? You're just gonna have to stay tuned to find out. Have a good day, and remember, don't get any on ya.